All right, so here's your read and guides for one. And again, I do expect that you watch me work it, and then you go ahead and go into the book and you work the corresponding got it, and then you come back and check it. Don't just watch the video through and not actually work anything. That doesn't do you any good. So again, you watch me work this problem, and then you pause this slide. You go into your book and you work the got it that goes along with it, and then you come back and check the got it here. That's the expectation. And if you still don't know after watching me work it, please come to class and ask those questions. Alrighty, so we have here is the equation true, false, or open. So we have some definitions here. In this case, if a statement like 24 plus 18, that equals 20 plus 22, it's true because both sides are 42. False is pretty straightforward stuff. 7 times 8 is certainly not 54. It's 56. So 56 never equals 54. Not here on planet Earth anyway. And then open, until I solve it, if it just has a variable, if I don't give you a value for that x, it's technically an open statement, or an open equation in this case. On here is the equation true, false, or open. Well, this one, again, I've not given you a value for y, so by definition it is open. This one, 6 minus 7, does that equal 4 plus 5? Well, 6 minus 7 is 9, right? And 4 plus 5 is 9, and 9 certainly equals 9, so it's true. And then the last one, over here, we have 32 divided by 8 and 2 times 3. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, right? And 32 divided by 8, I don't think so. So the two sides are certainly not equal, because in this case, 4 does not equal 6. Again, definitely not here on planet Earth, so that is a false statement. Alrighty, so identifying solutions of an equation. This is what I call plug and chug. Plug and chug. You plug in the number that I give you and you run it through, right? You work it to see if it's a true statement. So in this case, we're going to say, is 6 a solution of this equation? So 32 equals 2 times, plug in the 6 there, plus 12. So 32, again, we're questioning, does that equal to 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 12 is 24, and 32, again, does not equal 24, so we know that 6 is not a solution for that equation. Again, we call it plug and chug. You plug the 6 in for x, right, and you prove whether it's true or not. Your second got it is 1/2 a solution for this equation. So we plug in 6, or rewrite the equation, plug in 1/2 for m, right, equals -5. Well, half of 6 is 3. 3 minus 8. Yeah, that does indeed equal -5. I don't know why I put an extra minus sign there, but there we go. So, yes, 1/2 is a solution for this equation. Problem 3. Sometimes it's fun to write your own equations, or sometimes I make you do it, whether you think it's fun or not. But so an art student wants to make a model of the Mayan Great Ball Court in Chichen Itza, Mexico. By the way, I think it's with like sacrifice, but it's like basketball where they cut your heads off or something. I don't know, but anyway, sounds like a fun spectator sport there, right? The length of the court is 2.5 times its width. The length of the student's model is 54 inches. What should be the width of the model? So what we're looking for here is, first off, remember we talked the other day, or second off, I guess probably in this case, but is that definition, right? That let statement. Let W equal the width of the model, because that's the part we're looking for here. And it's 2.4 times the width, so the length is 2.4 times the width. Again, we're looking for the width, so we define it in terms of W, the width. We write the following. We know that 54, right, is what we're shooting for here. That's the length, and it is 2.4, or rather the width is 2.4 times. So, and again, so 2.4 W equals 54. And in this case, we're not, obviously you guys should be able to solve this, right? Divide both sides by 2.4. And we're doing again, a little bit of checking here. They want you to look at which one of these works. And that's the whole plug and chug method here. You plug in 2.4 and we see, does that work? No. We plug in 11.25 and we see, does that work? Well, no. And we keep going and we find that plugging in 22.5 My eyes must be getting old. And we do see that that works, and every other solution does not. So, little plug and chug. Obviously, again, you probably understand that you need to divide both sides by 2.4 to come up with the answer of 22.5. All right, got another one here. The length of the ball court in La Venta is 14 times the height of its walls. Okay, so again, we've got to pay attention. What are we defining here? Write an equation, we use to define the height. So h, so here I would argue that you need to start out with let h equal the height. I obviously can't spell the word height, so I'm just going to abbreviate it in this case. And it's not going to let me erase it, so h equal height. There we go. Alrighty. And again, look at the way it's defined. The length of the ball court is 14 times the height. So I can take that height, multiply by 14, and that equals my length of 49. And again, you know, I know you could all solve this, right? If I asked you to solve it, divide both sides by 14 and to get your answer. Don't forget to label it in that case too, if it's in centimeters or however it works out. This one's a little bit fuzzy. I do apologize. My hands are apparently shaky from all the coffee I've drank this morning as I'm trying to make these videos for you. Using mental math to find a solution. What is the solution of each equation? Use mental math. And so we're looking at doing some simple ones in your head, right? So here we have x plus 8 equals 12. Well, think to yourself, well, I can use that inverse operation, subtract 8 from both sides. 12 minus 8 is 4. And you can check that, right? 4 plus 8 is 12. Here we have a divided by 8 equals 9. Think to yourself, well, I can multiply both sides by 8 to undo the division by 8, so that opposite operation comes in again. So 9 times 8 is 72. And yes, 72 divided by 8 is 9. So our got it on this one. What is the solution of 12 minus y equals 3? Okay, so now here, look in front. This one takes a couple of different steps maybe in your head. We're going to subtract 12 from both sides, right? So I go, okay, well, 3 minus 12, that's a negative 9. But notice in front of the y there, still got that negative going on. So I'm going to think, well, if this is negative, I can undo that by dividing or multiplying by a negative 1. So if this over here was negative 9, I basically knock off the negative, so I find that 9. So can I check that? Absolutely. 12 minus 9 is 3. That's a true statement. Again, mental math, that's why I'm not writing anything out here, but if I were to write it out, I would start off by minus 12 from both sides, and you have to show that to me. Don't lose the negative, so the opposite of y equals negative 9, because 3 minus 12 is negative 9. Then again, multiply off that negative 1. And we find that y is a positive 9. All right, there we go. Fifth example, use a table to find a solution. Not the biggest fan of this method because it's kind of like guessing and checking, right? So what is the solution of this? Use a table. I'm not going to force you to use a table. And most of you folks can probably handle this without making a table. You're welcome just to flat out solve it. So I'm going to actually do that here. So if I say that 5n plus 8 equals 48. Gosh darn it, those 8s are hard to make sometimes with stylus. So we all know that we've got some order of operations here going, so we're going to, rather than divide, we can't divide off that 5 first. We have to kind of go in reverse order, so we're going to subtract the 8. So we say that 5n equals 40. Now we can divide off that 5, and n then is 8. 40 divided by 5 is 8. And we can always check that, and I like to show that check. So 5 times 8, there we go, plus 8 equals 48. Well, 5 times 8 is 40, plus 8 equals 48. And 48 does indeed equal 48, so my solution of n is 8 was correct. By the way, this is pretty much what I expect to see on all of your problems like this. Alright, so continuing on our quest for knowledge here, what is the solution of 25 minus 3p equals 55? And I'm just going to go ahead and show the work here rather than this table thing. I'm not a fan of that. So we have 25 minus 3p equals 55. Obviously, we're going to start out by subtracting that 25 from both sides, because we're sort of inverting the order of operations. Don't lose the negative here. So negative 3p equals 30. Then continuing, divide off that negative 3, and P, oops, there's a 3, I promise. P is a negative 10, because 30 divided by negative 3 is negative 10. And again, that check, I expect to see you plug that back in. We're going to say 25 minus 3 times negative 10 equals 55. 25, let's see, negative times negative is positive, so plus 30 equals 55, and that is indeed true. And so we can say that our solution of negative 10 was correct. Part B of that, what is a good starting value to solve part A? Explain your reasoning. Again, we didn't do a table, so you're not going to bother with that, so you can skip right over that. And along those lines, we're going to skip got it 6. It's more this table stuff, so not a big deal. So skip over the read and got it number 6.